Hi there, this is part B for roleplay 1 with Michelle. Here's my counselling notes template. I'll just read through what I've got in each section. Okay, for her goals, we looked at to better manage her time. Create a place to study just came up as a goal, and to manage her stress around all this. Topics discussed and outcomes. We discussed the goals from the previous week and how she went with them. She asked her boss for a day off, and he was really supportive, which came a bit of a shock to her. And she now has worked out with him that she can have Fridays off to study. She's very happy about that. She spoke also with her husband, and he's agreed to help more with the pickups with the kids and to do possibly sport on the weekends, just to give her a bit more time to study as well. So that's also really positive. 2 things that she wasn't really confident about. We also sort of had a look at where she studies, because I was kind of thinking maybe that, having a good place to study is really helpful. So we talked about that, and it turned out that she didn't really have a place to study. She just used to study at the kitchen table, which was really distracting and everything. So she worked out that she's got a spare room in her house, and she's able to clean that up and make that her study room. So she was feeling super happy about that, and that it sort of lets everyone know that that she's studying, and then she can go in there and just have quiet time, and get on with it. We also discussed sort of having a bit of a plan to study, and how she sort of likes to do things, like if she likes to write stuff down, and she said she likes to write on the computer, so she's going to sort of maybe formulate a bit of a plan for the day, like she wants to get an assignment done a day, so she's going to kind of say, I'm going to read for the morning and do some research, and then try to write it in the afternoon, and then maybe even crossing over into Saturday, because if she doesn't have to do sport, take the kids to sport and everything like that. She feels, we also discussed a bit about what provokes her anxiety, and she sort of talks about not spending time with kids, not being a good mother, because she's not spending time with kids, and also sort of her time management. But she said she's feeling a lot better about that, just after our discussion today. So we talked a little bit about, her thoughts on how she doesn't spend enough time with the kids. I sort of kind of went, well, hey, you tell me you spend a heap of time doing a lot of stuff with them. So it's kind of like, well, and she's like, oh, yeah, that's true, so I guess it's kind of maybe trying to get her to understand why she's maybe feeling like she's not spending time with the kids, or maybe they're not doing anything, that's fun. So I don't know, maybe we can look at that maybe next week and sort of try to work out how that's going. So intervention strategies, we looked at cleaning out the room, and she's feeling positive about that. Strategies, we looked at making a plan to study for the day or for the week, and so then she's got it in her mind, so she's not sort of feeling so flustered. So she was feeling pretty good about that. And even just thinking now, I probably should have kind of, maybe talked a bit more about spending kind of quality time with the kids, maybe like think of activities to do, and if they want to do stuff, I guess, because the kids are older, so trying to get them to do stuff with a parent at that age is tricky, but that's probably something I can pick up next week. We're not another session in a week. All right, question number 2 is reflect and evaluate on your use of counselling communication skills. What went well, what didn't work, what should you have done differently? What areas do you need to develop? How will you develop these? So many questions. Okay, so I think I went better with the eye contact, because apparently something that was an issue in the first interview I did, that I wasn't making eye contact. I feel like I attended more and was more listening, but I feel my participant's pretty tricky, because she talks a lot, and she kind of tries to get everything out all in one go, even after like we've practiced it in a lot of times. So it's kind of just getting that skill of kind of bringing her back, but still wanting to be listening to what she wants to say and not trying to cut her off and, bring her back. So it's kind of a little bit different than when, you're in a session where you can kind of just kind of go with that to a certain extent and then bring her back. But because we've got all these things we need to cover, and with this sort of time limit, we can't sit here for an hour and do a session. I feel like I struggle a little bit with that, kind of, and trying to be mindful of not interrupting her as well. Like I sort of, because she's so chatty, like it's really tricky, I find. But I'm got a different participant for a couple more, so hopefully that might work a bit better. So also I feel the seating is a bit funny. Like I've kind of going to try to maybe change the seating around, like maybe try to sit in opposite each other and then have the camera sort of on the side. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but we'll give it a go. Because you've kind of got to be close enough so that you're both in the camera, but then I feel like we're too close. So I'm going to have to work on that. What else? I guess with all, like I think I said just before, like with all the stuff we've got to cover, you've got to just go back to your notes and stuff. So this is why I sort of, have a look at what I need to say and where we're at. And whereas, a normal session would kind of, I feel like I'd flow a little bit better. What else? Okay, so I guess the ways to around them is practice more. I've got a couple of clients that I'm seeing, so, I'm feeling kind of pretty okay with them. And also with my play therapy work too, that's kind of, the more you do stuff, the better you get at it, obviously. Those are a few things I'm going to work on for next one. Okay, so number 3 is analyze what you've learned in regards to Michelle and ladder personality and development theories, and explain how you can integrate that into your future work with Michelle. Okay, for this I've chosen Erikson's psychosocial stages of development, which is the 8 predictable life stages that people experience through their lifetime. I feel like with this, Michelle would probably be in the generosity and stagnation stage. I don't know if you say that right. Sorry, excuse me. Or middle adulthood. And in this stage, Erikson suggests that there is a emphasis on the individual caring for others. And so in Michelle's case, this is seen through Michelle's child rearing, and because she's still wanting to study, this is creating a kind of tug of war, as why she might be feeling a bit of guilt for not being there and caring for her children, and why she's feeling like she's letting them down. It might be helpful to maybe for Michelle to look at her life and where she is on Erikson's stages, and maybe sort of have a discussion around that and kind of say, well, hey, this is kind of where you're at, and this is why these feelings are so, front and center at the moment, because that's kind of where you are at life. You want to be looking like you're caring for your children, and that's where you're at. But, you've got all these other things, like you want to do uni and finish, your study for yourself. So, it's creating this kind of, imbalance. And I guess it's just kind of looking at how we could maybe fix that balance and look at, how she can kind of feel her kind of, cup, I guess, her child rearing cup, or, so it's not so imbalanced and she feels like she's just doing everything for herself. But I guess that changes, if you're looking at life from Erikson's point of view in the stages. So yeah, that's Michelle in a nutshell. I think that's number 3. Okay, thanks, bye.